Hi everyone. Hope everyone is having a good day. Uh, if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe and share and like. Also, you can engage me or engage us in the comments, and you can tell us what you like and what you want us to do about um, so that we can improve the channel. Um, so, without further ado, let's go to today's topic. Today we are discussing uh, how Europe plans, to outsource its energy away from Russia. And the country that you're going to look, which is going to fill the 10% of the gas deficiency that the European Union is going through. The European Union is going through a 30 to 40% gas deficiency, but this country is planning to fill at least 10%. So that country is Israel. Uh, when you hear Israel, not many people associate it with an energy producing country in terms of gas and oil. Most people think of it as, its powerless and its ability to dominate foreign policy and international politics is either through military and science and technology and probably agriculture. So when we hear about Israel, those are the things that come to mind, and also the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine. We rarely associate it with energy, especially gas. And Israel is in the Middle East. Most of its neighbors, are good. Some are even powerful exporters of energy in terms of gas and oil. And it seems that Israel is joining that club of energy exporting countries, and it has already started embracing this title, and it has decided to become now an active player in the Middle East and supply gas. Uh, as you know, Europe is going through an energy crisis, and the first the first thing that when the war between Ukraine and Iraq started, Israel was one of the first country to condemn the war, and it was even active in trying to broker a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. And apart from the Prime Minister of Israel visiting Russia and Ukraine, he has also made various phone calls to the two leaders to try and come to an understanding. So Israel has been trying to play, like a diplomat and engager, and trying to bring both parties to the table, because Israel does not want. It doesn't want the war to continue, and it also, it wants to bring a faster solution. Um, since the war broke out in in Europe, uh, Israel was immediately, at the time, Israel was uh, selling gas. Israel started mining. First of all, Israel started mining in 1947. That was the first discovery of oil. But the oil in Israel is not enough to meet the day-to-day demand. And so even over the years, as they have discovered oil, they were still a large importer of fossil fuel. Almost at 90 to 95% of fossil fuel used in Israel is imported. But with the discovery of this gas field was a game changer. In the Tamar region, the Israelites were able to discover gas, and the Tamar fields were very crucial, since now Israel started relying less on fossil fuel, and it started changing into using gas as their fuel. And it also now made Israel start to think it can use this resource for, for diplomatic reasons, try to bring the neighboring countries, especially the Arab countries together, to have a common vision. And in 2015 now, they discovered even more gas fields. It's called the Leviathan fields. It is located in the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights has been a very big contentious issue between Israel and Syria. So Israel now has two fields, but the Leviathan field is double what the Tamar field produces. And this has made now Israel to believe that it's now able to enter into the industry of gas exporting country. And immediately when the war started, Europe was very fast started engaging with Israel, although they were engagement started in 2018, 2017, 2019, of a possibility of a pipeline called the EastMed pipeline, which was supposed to be constructed from Israel all the way to Italy through Cyprus. And there were those negotiations, but because of the war, the deal was accelerated, and Israel currently it's exporting gas to Europe, but it's using Egypt's refinery. So the gas is because Egypt was already um, a consumer of Israeli gas. So the gas is shipped from Israel to Egypt through in liquefied form. And since Egypt already has in the port has the facilities to house the liquid gas, then it acts as an emissary between Europe and Israel. So the gas goes to Egypt and then goes to Europe. For now, that's the formula they're using. And also, Israel is also planning to build its own floating liquefy installation so that it can also start putting them on the sea, so that Europe can, rather than going through Egypt, can go straight to Europe. And at the same time, they are still constructing the EastMed project, the pipeline. It's the longest because the option was to do two projects, one pipeline going to Turkey, the other going to Europe. But now the issue is that Turkey and Israel relationship hasn't been friendly, especially when both players are also in Syria. Russia is also in Syria, so they haven't. So the Israelites uh, are a bit adamant. And Turkey showed it didn't have an issue; it was willing to accept the project, but the Israelis are a bit adamant. But the EastMed project it's more longer than the Turkish one, but on the other hand, it's more feasible and it's more trustworthy. Apart from that, Israel also, because of the insecurity in the region, fears that those projects might be a target uh, from enemies of Israel. They fear like the EastMed pipeline, the Turkish might be attacked, and that's why it's using. It has taken this opportunity to use gas as a mode of diplomacy and of foreign policy. Jordan is already a consumer of of Israeli gas. As I said, Egypt is also a consumer. Uh, the deal was pushed to Palestine. Palestine wanted to agree, but in the last minute they pulled out for reasons I think we understand, because of the Israeli-Palestine war. The Palestine felt that they were giving money to the Israelites, and the Israelites are then attacking them. So there was an issue. The deal also was given to Lebanon. Lebanon, since the collapse of its economy, everything going downhill, it has, and the the government power provider in Lebanon, it was mad with corruption. Power is not sufficient in Lebanon. They're also given the chance for that deal, so that to be consumers of Israeli gas converted into electricity. But through their parliament, it has received heavy opposition. So currently, the only consumers of Israeli gas are Jordan and Egypt, and the next consumer might be now Europe. So it seems that Israel has decided to work with Europe. Even some months back, the European uh, president was there, Ursula von der Leyen, and she went to negotiate about uh, Israeli gas, uh, how it's gonna be taken in Europe, and the EastMed project. She was received very well, very well. She was welcomed, and she was received as an important guest, and she was even given an honorary PhD by a university in Israel. So that shows you that Israel went out of their way just to welcome her, because they understand that she's the president of the EU. The EU is going to be their next largest customer in terms of gas export. So through that talk, they solidified the deal. The deal also was also even more solidified when they met again in Cairo uh, to uh, to sign off the deal. The president uh, of the European Union, and we had the Egyptian leader and the Prime Minister of Israel. They signed a deal, a three-part agreement between the three countries, where now European companies will come and invest in Egypt and Israel in terms of creating facilities for oil and gas exploration and exportation. European companies will be given an equal field to be competitive in those markets. Even when she was in Israel, uh, the EU president, also the Italian president, prime minister went there, because now when we see how this pipeline is going from Israel to Cyprus to Greece and then to Italy. So Italy will be the first important country in Europe to be receiving this gas. So he was also there to officiate and sign the deal. And when you look at this deal, this gas deal, it promotes what Israel had and Israel had under Netanyahu and Donald Trump and the Arab nation had agreed under the Abraham Accord, where you find that Israel had decided and the Arab countries had decided to clear hostilities and because they are neighbors and just become friends. And one of the deal was to ensure that they protect the interests of that region and promote business. And you can see now through this gas project, Israel is like fulfilling one of the of of, of those points, because you see that it's trying to use gas as a way of diplomacy. You know, the other day, Israel was encouraging other Arab countries to support its project. It's trying to integrate because all of them are producing gas and oil. It wants also to be a player and also be welcomed into that club, and for them to share idea and protect their interests around there. So Israel sees itself that it can take advantage of this situation to promote itself and put itself out there. And for Europe, the issue of gas only now is Israel can only provide 10%. As I said in the other video, Senegal is already in the map. There's talk of a pipeline being built from Nigeria to Europe. I might talk that in another video of how Nigeria is going to clear the deficit. Algeria also has gas, but it has been exporting for a while. So the aim of Europe is to ensure that within the next 1 year, it has already started heavily replacing Russian oil. Most of these projects, especially the one in Israel, it's the three projects for building the liquefied projects in Egypt, Israel, and the pipe. All of them combined, the latest are supposed to end in 2026, 2027. So you see, even by that time, the pipe probably won't be done, even though Europe is receiving gas through ships. The pipe might take more time, and the pipe is even more efficient because the gas doesn't have to be liquefied and then made again to be gas. So the pipe is more efficient. But for my point of view is that with everything going on in the Middle East, with the Syrian war and the politics there and the Palestine, I think how the Israel government is trying to maneuver, it's trying to ensure that it can now become a very, very big player in that area. with the discovery of the Leviathan fields in the Golan Heights, now we can understand why Israel has been always interested in the Golan Heights, because there's there's oil and gas there. So I'm eager to see how it goes. Israel, it's even the ties between Israel and the European Union are even more closer. We used to think that it was just the Americans, but now it seems that also the Europeans are very interested in working together with the Israeli. And we'll just look and see how things go. And also, you guys can also probably comment, share, subscribe, and like, so that we can promote this channel. I'll keep on updating you, and good day, and God bless.